Have you ever been hurt so deeply that you wanted to strike back immediately? A biting insult, an unexpected betrayal, an act that made you feel utterly disrespected. In that moment, all you could think about was how to make them pay double for what you endured. But after the anger fades, you realize revenge doesn't make you stronger. It only turns you into a lesser version of yourself. The world teaches you to give as good as you get to avoid seeming weak. But the philosophy of the truly unconquerable is different. They don't retaliate with petty actions or try to make others regret by hitting harder. Instead, they become untouchable. They let no one invade their mind. No one can drag them down to a lower level because they refuse to play that trivial game. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This isn't surrender. It's the pinnacle of inner discipline. You can't control others' actions, but you can control your own reactions. When you learn to respond not with instinct, but with calm and resolve, you don't just win, you rise above the game of emotions. This video isn't about teaching you to exact cunning revenge, but about helping you break free from the cycle of hatred. Together, we'll dismantle the illusions of retaliation, explore how to rise through inner strength, and build an untouchable version of yourself, one unshaken by any insult, hurt, or betrayal. Watch this video to the end if you're tired of letting emotions control you, if you're familiar with emotional outbursts that lead to regret, and if you're ready to become someone whose peace no one can disturb. Before we dive into the first part, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. I won't seek revenge. I'll become untouchable. Now let's begin the journey to true inner freedom. Section 1. The illusion of traditional revenge. You're betrayed, insulted, disrespected. A fire ignites within you. A voice whispers, "Make them pay. Hit them back twice as hard." It's a natural instinct, the rawest human response to hurt. But have you ever asked, what does revenge really achieve? Does it make you better, happier, stronger? Or is it just an illusion, a blow that derails you from your true journey? Traditional revenge is a trap. It tricks you into believing that by causing others pain, you'll ease your own. In reality, every act of retaliation only traps you deeper in a cycle of negativity. You become the reactor, not the initiator. And that, in Stoic philosophy, is the ultimate loss of freedom, when you let someone else's actions dictate your response and state of mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When insulted, see it as a test of your dignity. Dignity isn't in striking back, but in holding fast to yourself. When someone hurts you and you respond with the same toxic energy, you're no better than them. But when you stay silent, walk away, and grow stronger from within, you've risen above. No words needed, no violent acts required. Your growth is the most powerful proof." The painful truth is, most of us have bought into the sweet illusion of justice. We think that if someone hurts us, hurting them back restores balance. But life isn't a scale. It doesn't tally petty battles. It judges the entirety of your journey. Those who chase small revenges often lose sight of the bigger picture, the life they could build. Picture your life as a grand stage. When you pause mid-performance to turn and throw stones back at a heckler, you abandon your starring role for a trivial part. The person who wronged you wants your reaction. They crave control over your emotions. And when you lash out, rage, or plot revenge, you hand them that control. You let them hold the reins of your inner world. What Stoic philosophers teach is that serenity is power. Not reacting is in weakness, it's strength. Every impulsive reaction stems from an undisciplined mind. The truly formidable person isn't the one who fights back, but the one unshaken by provocation. If you seek revenge, you're devoting time, energy, and even creativity to a lowly goal. You're nurturing a part of yourself that should be transcended. And then you realize Revenge is never enough. The pain doesn't come from others' actions, but from your expectations, from allowing yourself to be hurt by them. Only by transforming your inner world can you truly heal. There's a power greater than any insult, betrayal, or offense. The power to walk away calmly, it's smiling in silence and continuing to do what's right without needing to prove anything. The truly noble don't need to win every battle because they know real value lies not in external victories, but in the mastery they feel within. Don't confuse resistance with reaction. You have every right to protect yourself, set boundaries, and say no, but the difference is doing so calmly, not in the heat of emotion. You act not because you're hurt, but because you respect yourself. That's a proactive strength far greater than any threat. In truth, nothing frustrates an enemy more than seeing you thrive, grow, and maintain your composure unshaken by their actions. They want you to crumble, to lose control, but you don't give them that. Instead, you channel your energy into growth, learning, and rising higher. One day when they look back, they'll find you're too far above to reach. But if revenge isn't strength, where does true strength lie? It's in keeping your mind steady through storms, in not letting others' bad actions dictate your own. True strength is looking at someone who hurt you and feeling no need to hurt them back. That's when you know you've risen above. Sometimes forgiveness isn't for their comfort, it's for your freedom. Forgiving doesn't mean condoning their actions. It means refusing to let their behavior control your mind and emotions. You choose peace over prolonged suffering. When you forgive, you break the cycle of pain and declare to the world, I am stronger than my fleeting emotions. Here's the harsh truth. Those who can't forgive are the ones trapped. Holding on to resentment doesn't just keep the memory alive. It sustains its negative energy. It's like acid quietly eroding your peace day by day. Meanwhile, the person who hurt you might not even remember. The cost of revenge is always paid with your own tranquility. Imagine holding a burning coal, ready to throw at your enemy. The longer you hold it, the more it burns you. Revenge is like that. It seems like a strike back, but it's self-destruction. Drop the coal, walk away. Let your only action be growth. In Eastern philosophy, as in the wisdom of Western sages, serenity is the ultimate state of wisdom. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every stab in the back needs retaliation. Sometimes silence is the noblest reply. You don't have to prove anything to those who don't deserve it. Maintaining your character, ethics, and goals while others sink, that's the greatest victory. You don't need to win a small battle if your goal is to win your entire life. Truly successful people don't have time for hatred. They're too busy building, growing, and shining. Every minute spent dwelling on those who hurt you is a minute stolen from your own journey. And the best revenge, becoming so extraordinary that they can't touch you, not with actions, not with words. So instead of asking, how do I strike back? Ask, how do I become untouchable? The answer lies not in retaliation, but in elevating yourself through knowledge, inner strength, discipline, compassion, and success. When you focus your energy on growth instead of resentment, you choose the path of the invincible. If you're on this journey to become that person, one who doesn't react rashly, who doesn't seek old-school revenge, you're on the right track. Keep following this channel because here we don't teach you how to strike back, but how to avoid being defeated by your own emotions. Subscribe to catch the next parts. Like if you believe peace is the greatest victory, and share this video with someone stuck in pain they haven't yet let go. Section 2, Winning Through Elevation. There's a form of victory grander than any revenge. It's not loud, chaotic, bloody, or bitter. It comes in silence, in growth, in each step you take away from what hurt you. This is winning through elevation. When you don't retaliate on the low ground where petty games are played, but soar above, leaving the game entirely. A simple yet overlooked truth. The more someone hurts you, the more they want you to stay hurt. They want you to writhe, rage, and obsess over the injustice they cause. They don't fear your retaliation. They fear your rise. When you strike back, you're still tethered to them in a negative bond. But when you grow, evolve, and no longer need them, that's when they truly vanish from your life. Not because you destroyed them, but because you've ascended to a level where they no longer exist. Winning through elevation doesn't come from instant action, but from persistent, steadfast investment in yourself. When you spend your time not responding to attacks, but reading, exercising, meditating, working, and creating value, you're breaking free from the cycle of drama. You're building a world where negative people have no entry. They can only stand outside gnawing at their own powerlessness because you no longer react. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Don't choose the low path just because someone dragged you down. Rise higher for yourself, not for them. When you stand up from hardship with calm, dignity, and relentless growth, that's a victory no one can take away. Don't misunderstand. Winning through elevation isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's not a performance to boast, "I succeeded and you didn't." It's a journey to become someone you're proud of, a person untainted by hatred, unmoved by anger, and unswayed by a wounded ego. That's the highest victory, overcoming your old self. You'll see those who hurt you still there, saying the same things, playing the same games. But you're no longer the old you. You don't react as you once did. You don't need to argue or prove anything. You just keep moving forward with strength and clarity. They'll realize they no longer affect you. That powerlessness becomes their bitterest consequence. If someone mocked, betrayed, or hurt you by dismissing your potential, let them be your fuel. But don't answer with words. Answer with actions. Answer with who you've become after it all. They use negativity to knock you down. You use that same negativity to build your strongest self. Perhaps the most powerful symbol of winning through elevation is the eagle. It doesn't falter in a storm, it soars through it. While other birds seek shelter, the eagle uses stronger winds to fly higher. That's what you must do with pain. Don't hide or avoid it. Embrace it as part of life and use it as thrust. You weren't born to flee, you were born to overcome. Don't let your mind be dragged to where others wallow in toxicity. When you react to negativity, you forfeit the high ground you could hold. In every negative situation, you have two choices: react like them or respond like the person you want to be. One is an instinctual outburst. The other is a choice of wisdom. A truly great person doesn't stoop to fight with those small in spirit. Look at history and the lives of great figures. Most didn't win by trading blows, but by rising calmly. Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for nearly 3 decades, but emerged without hatred. He didn't seek revenge, he rebuilt a nation. Gandhi faced beatings and insults, but chose nonviolence, and an empire bowed. Such people didn't need fists because their inner strength surpassed any army. You can be like them. You don't need an apology to heal. Healing comes from your decision to not let the past control your future, to become better, not bitter. You can rewrite your story without needing anyone's remorse. You no longer live to fix their wrongs, but to grow yourself. Here's the fascinating part. As you elevate, you attract people on your wavelength. Those who hurt you fade from view, and you find yourself among positive, uplifting, inspiring souls. That's the greatest reward for the path you choose. Not a verbal victory, but a triumph in the full picture of your life. So how do you start winning through elevation? Begin with discipline. Discipline in managing emotions, habits, and life goals. Prioritize self-growth. Don't let anger cloud your reason. Choose evolution in mindset, character, and ability. Learn, train, meditate, reflect. Each positive action you take is a step away from the old world. Every time you stay silent and keep building, you tell the world, I'm done with that low game. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. If these values stir your heart, hit the subscribe button. Here we build a community of those striving to become invincible, not by striking back, but by rising above the fight. Like if you believe rising is the noblest response, comment to share a story of choosing silence and growth over revenge, and share this video with those needing a reminder. Don't stoop to battle darkness. Become the light. Section 3. Excellence as the ultimate response. There's a form of revenge that requires no force, no words, no negative actions. It's not the fleeting satisfaction of seeing someone fall, but the profound feeling of looking back on your journey and realizing you've soared beyond every hurt. This is responding with excellence, becoming the best, strongest, and most virtuous version of yourself. Not to prove anything to others, but to show you chose yourself over hatred. In a competitive, chaotic world, excellence is not only the ultimate weapon, but also the ultimate shield. It lifts you above those who hurt you and makes you immune to future wounds. When you pour all your energy into self-improvement, you have no time left to dwell on retaliation. And the miracle is, the more you focus on excellence, the further behind you leave those who wronged you, like relics of a past that no longer fits your radiant present. Imagine this. Instead of sitting with a heavy heart, you spend that time learning a new skill, training your body, sharpening your mind, working diligently, building a career, nurturing your soul. Each day you become a little better, wiser, calmer. Then one day you wake up and realize you no longer think about those who hurt you, not because you tried to forget, but because your life is filled with too many good things to dwell on. Excellence doesn't come overnight. It comes from doing small things daily with a grand mindset. It's choosing not to react, but to act with purpose. It's picking up a book instead of sinking into social media drama. It's running, meditating, or planning your life instead of obsessing over betrayal. Each small choice is a brick in building an unbreakable self, not because you're rigid, but because you've made yourself too strong to shatter. Those who hurt you often want you to stay haunted by that pain, but you don't need to respond with anger. Respond with greatness. Let your success be a wake-up call to those who underestimated you. But remember that success isn't for them, it's for you to see your worth more. You don't live to retaliate, you live to fulfill your purpose. If you doubt this, look at the lives of great figures. Oprah Winfrey faced childhood abuse, rejection, and belittlement. She didn't use anger to get back at those people. She conquered the world with her excellence. Steve Jobs was ousted from the company he founded. He didn't sue or attack. He returned, created the iPod, iPhone, iPad, and changed the planet. Great people don't strike back with blows. They respond with legacies. You can do the same. You don't need anyone's validation to build a self you're proud of. Choose a field, any field, and excel in it. Work so deeply that no one can ignore you. Train until you stand out. When you walk into a room with the confidence of someone who's overcome everything, that's when all revenge becomes irrelevant. And you'll find that as you excel, you inspire others. Those who hurt you might see your growth and instead of anger, feel regret. But that no longer matters. What matters is that you've turned pain into constructive energy, wounds into motivation, and rewritten your story with every step forward. Excellence doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need boasting. It shows in how you carry yourself, work, and treat yourself and others. The more excellent you become, the humbler you are, because you don't need to prove anything. Your worth lies not in striking back, but in the impact you create. And when you become that person, you're no longer prey to hurt. You're a symbol of invincibility. You might wonder, where do I start? Begin by asking, if I don't let emotions control me, what can I do today to get closer to the person I want to be? Then do it. The next day, ask again. Then act again. Slowly, you'll see progress. That progress is your reward. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone. As long as today's you is better than yesterday's, that's the most beautiful response to anyone who doubted you. If you need a community for this journey, I invite you to join us. Hit the subscribe button to get more videos inspiring you to grow step by step. Like if you believe excellence is the greatest response, comment to share what you're working on daily, and share this video with those needing a reminder. You don't need to avenge anyone. You just need to become greater every day. Section 4. The power of walking away. Have you ever been in a confrontation where, no matter how much you argued, shouted, or presented clear evidence, the other person wouldn't budge? Some situations only escalate with every reaction, like pouring fuel on a fire. There's a strength few have the courage to wield: walking away. Not because you're weak or can't fight back, but because you know your worth isn't tied to that battle. Walking away is the ultimate strike of self-respect and the boldest expression of inner freedom. First, understand this. Not every battle is worth fighting. Some arguments are traps for your ego, where you might win, but lose your peace. Some relationships are toxic, eroding your heart the longer you stay. Some environments, work or social, no longer align with you, yet you cling out of fear of change. True strength isn't enduring pain, but walking away when you know you deserve better. When you walk away from something that no longer serves your growth, you declare to the world and yourself that you won't settle for pain, humiliation, or mediocrity. You set a new standard for how you deserve to be treated. From that moment, you start attracting things more worthy of your life. By rejecting what's wrong, you make space for what's right. Walking away isn't giving up. It's an active, rational, courageous choice. The strongest person isn't the one who fights at all costs, but the one who knows when to turn their back to preserve dignity. In the wisdom of philosophies like Buddhism, Taoism, and Stoicism, leaving the bad behind isn't avoidance. It's intelligence. You don't win by crushing your opponent, but by refusing to play their rigged game. Not playing is a higher victory. Consider this image. A lion never turns when a dog barks behind it. Why? It knows its worth. It doesn't react to petty noise. A person with inner strength is the same. You don't need to respond to every insult or prove you're right to everyone. When you're grounded, you see some things are best left to pass like a breeze. You don't live to argue, you live to evolve. Walking away tests your true freedom. Many believe they're free but are bound by anger, fear of being left behind, or a need for approval. So they stay in toxic relationships, reacting to unworthy people. A truly free person can say, "I don't need this anymore," and walk away decisively. That's when you become the master of your life. On your growth journey, you'll face crossroads. Sometimes you'll want to confront, resist, or retaliate. But pause and ask, will this bring me closer to who I want to be? If not, walking away is the wisest choice. Reactions give fleeting wins. Walking away grants lasting peace. Take a workplace example. Someone envies you, undermines you, or belittles you in front of your boss or colleagues. Your instinct is to fight back, to prove them wrong. But engaging in their game drags you to their level. Instead, let your professionalism, competence, and character speak. If that environment no longer supports your growth, boldly seek a new path. Don't fear walking away from a place that doesn't reflect your value. Another aspect of walking away is letting go of control. Many cling to old relationships or emotions, wanting to fix others or rewrite the past. But you can't change someone unwilling to change, nor redo what's done. What you can do is step out of that cycle of hurt to redefine your future. Letting go isn't weakness. It's strength in recognizing what no longer fits. Imagine leaving a relationship you once deeply loved, but where respect has faded. It hurts. You miss them, but you walk away. Each day you rise early, exercise, work hard, read, grow. A year later, you're stronger, wiser. Looking back, you know walking away was the best thing you did for yourself. You didn't need revenge. You just needed to move forward. If you're in such a situation now, know this. You're not alone. Many have walked away in tears and confusion, only to build lives far more beautiful. You deserve peace. You deserve respect. If someone or something can't offer that, walk away as an act of self-love. Finally, walking away doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself more. You choose yourself, your peace, your growth. That's the act of someone not easily swayed by emotions. Once you can walk away from what no longer fits, nothing can bind you. You become untouchable. If this section makes you think of a situation where you're hesitating to walk away, share it in the comments below. Writing it out might lighten your load. If you find value in this message, hit like, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel for more content to strengthen you from within. Section 5. Letting go of pain. It's ironic that we often cling to what hurts us more than what brings us joy. Pain has a strange weight. It burrows into your mind, haunts your thoughts, creeps up in the dead of night, and lingers, like a toxic friend, uninvited but persistent. Why do we hold on to pain? Do we think that by keeping it long enough, someone will understand, return, or justice will appear? Or does pain make us feel alive? Proof we haven't forgotten. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. Pain isn't worth holding if you want to heal and move forward. Pain often stems from three sources: the past, expectations, and betrayal. We hurt over things that happened and can't be changed. We ache for expectations that never materialized. We suffer because those we trusted turned out to be the ones who hurt us. But clinging to these doesn't make them vanish. It only prolongs the agony. Imagine holding a burning coal. The longer you grip it, the more you burn. Let it go, and you can begin to heal. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or condoning what happened. It's a powerful act of choosing not to let wounds control your life. Someone once said forgiveness isn't for the other person's worthiness, but for your own peace. The same applies to pain. You don't let go because you're weak, but because you refuse to let pain dictate your thoughts, actions, and emotions. A major obstacle to letting go is the belief that you're abandoning justice. We think that by releasing pain, the other person escapes accountability. But justice doesn't always come in the form we expect. And pain isn't a courtroom that can judge right from wrong. Holding on to pain only pulls you further from inner freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote that, "What matters isn't what happens to you, but how you respond." Letting go is a sovereign response. A practical way to start letting go is to change the story you tell yourself. Instead of, "I was betrayed," say, "I learned a lesson about trust." Instead of, "They hurt me," try, "I let them affect me too much, and now I'm reclaiming that power." The stories we repeat in our minds are the chains binding us to pain. Changing your language begins to loosen those knots. Writing down your pain is another effective way to release it. When you write, you give chaotic emotions a concrete form. You turn vagueness into clarity. Sometimes only when you see your pain on paper do you realize, so that's what's been tormenting me. From there, you can start to accept, understand, and let go. Letting go is a process, not a single decision. You might release a piece today, only to find yourself back in pain tomorrow. That's normal. What matters is recognizing it and persisting. Each time you choose not to dwell on old wounds, not to react in old patterns, you take another step toward healing. Gradually, the distance between you and the pain grows. Practicing presence is also key. Pain lives in the past, anxiety in the future. When you're in the present, you escape both. Meditation, deep breathing, observing this moment, these anchor you outside the reach of old pain. You realize the present isn't the moment you were hurt. You're no longer that vulnerable person. You've grown. You're strong enough to look back without trembling. Ask yourself, what happens if I hold this pain for another year? 5 years? Then ask, what happens if I start letting it go today? These questions reveal the difference between living in the past and moving toward the future. You can stay bitter forever, or you can plant new seeds. Each day you can choose your attitude toward what happened. Don't forget that pain is a teacher. It shows you weaknesses, blind spots, areas needing healing. But once you've learned, leave the classroom. Don't keep rereading the same lesson. Be grateful for what pain taught you, then close the book. Strength isn't in never being hurt, but in not letting old wounds shape your future. Perhaps most crucially, forgive yourself. Sometimes the pain comes not from others, but from guilt, self-blame, or regret for not acting differently. You can't fix the past by punishing the present. Forgiving yourself is the first step to befriending yourself again. When you're kinder to yourself, you'll be gentler with your pain. If you're holding on to something too long, try this today. Sit in silence, close your eyes, and imagine holding a heavy object, your pain. Then picture opening your hands and letting it fall. Just that. You might feel nothing yet, but repeat it daily. One day you'll feel lighter, living without that old burden. Are you carrying pain you haven't let go of? Share it in the comments if you're ready. Writing it out can heal. If this video resonates with you or someone you know, hit like, share it, and subscribe to catch the next parts. Every share could be a light for someone in the dark. Section 6, the high road is power. There's a path the truly strong always choose, the high road. It's where you don't repay degradation with degradation, don't seek vengeance with venom, and don't win by dragging others down, but by lifting yourself up. In a world that glorifies impulsive reactions and equates harsh words with honesty, choosing the higher path is like swimming against the current. But it's precisely because it's challenging, requiring discipline and courage, that it embodies true inner power. When someone hurts, insults, or belittles you in front of others, your first instinct is to strike back, to say something sharper, prove them wrong, or make them feel your pain. But in that moment, you're handing them control over your emotions. The person who insulted you might forget their words in minutes, but you're pulled into a spiral of negative thoughts, reactions, and even actions that unravel your composure. If you react as they expect, impulsively, angrily, unraveled, you've let them win. Choosing the high road means refusing to play their game. You see the provocation, but don't dive into the vortex. You recognize that their actions don't reflect you but reveal their own lack of control, security, or peace. You don't need to prove anything. You know who you are, your worth, and that's enough to stand tall in silence without shouting for validation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This isn't just a profound quote, it's a way of life. Being unlike them means not being dragged down. You maintain calm, compassion, and the pride of living by principle. That's not weakness. On the contrary, it takes immense strength to resist reacting to negativity. The weak can't forgive, let go, or walk away. Only the truly strong can. Choosing the high road also means not wasting time on petty battles. You see the bigger picture. You have goals, ideals, and a vision for a meaningful life. Every time you let a negative person pull you into their emotional quagmire, you slow your own journey. Successful, truly happy people don't squander energy on meaningless conflicts. They focus on what matters: personal growth, career, inner peace. Something miraculous happens when you choose the high road. Others notice. You may not retaliate publicly, but your silence speaks louder than 1,000 comebacks. It exudes a presence others can't ignore. The aura of someone who needs no proof, whose very being testifies to dignity, wisdom, and strength. In doing so, you not only inspire others, but set a new standard for behavior in your surroundings. Taking the high road doesn't mean tolerating injustice or staying silent in the face of wrong. It means responding deliberately with control, unswayed by negative emotions. Sometimes you must speak or act, but with a calm, rational, and principled spirit. You can be strong without being harsh, firm yet gentle, resolute without bitterness. One way to cultivate the mindset of the high road is to ask, does what I'm about to say or do reflect the person I want to be? If the answer is no, pause. That pause is power. It gives you space to choose response over reflex. It's where you step out of the trap of emotions and into the realm of maturity. Imagine yourself as a leader, watched by younger people or those around you. How you handle conflict becomes a living lesson. You're teaching, not with words, but with your life, that there's a higher path, a way to exist without trampling others. That's true power, inspiring through character, not through shouting. In Stoic philosophy, choosing the high road is a hallmark of inner mastery. Stoics don't seek to control others, but to control themselves. When you master your reactions, you master your destiny. In a chaotic world, the person who masters themselves is the steadiest. If you're in a situation where someone has hurt, betrayed, or insulted you, pause and breathe deeply. Ask, if I respond now, how does it serve me? Then ask, if I stay silent, walk away, or use this energy to grow, what will I become in a year? These questions guide you to the high road, where you're not swayed by others' pettiness. The high road isn't easy. It's lonely, demanding you relinquish ego and instinctual reactions. But it leads to inner freedom, deep respect from others, and, most importantly, respect from yourself. Looking back, you'll be proud you didn't become a lesser version of yourself just because others treated you poorly. And here's what's fascinating. Those who once made you want to retaliate will fade into irrelevance. You'll realize they don't deserve your energy. Meanwhile, you'll keep moving forward, wiser, stronger, unburdened. That's the greatest victory. If this section touches something in your heart, share in the comments below. Have you ever chosen the high road? How did it change you? If this video resonates, hit like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to catch the next parts. Your strength begins with the choices you make daily. Choose the high road, not because you can't fight back, but because you don't need to prove your worth. Section 7. Trusting karma and forgiveness. Forgiveness is not easy. It's one of humanity's greatest challenges, demanding you release your ego, let go of the need for retribution, and rise above pain. But in the journey to becoming untouchable, forgiveness isn't weakness. It's a sign of profound understanding of life. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning wrongdoing or forgetting what happened. It means choosing not to let the past control your future. You don't forgive because the other person deserves it. You forgive because you deserve peace. In Stoicism, forgiveness stems not from naivety but from wisdom. Epictetus said, when someone does wrong, understand they act from their limited perspective. Often people hurt you not out of malice but because they're driven by their own emotions, wounds, or mental constraints. Forgiveness is seeing this and refusing to be dragged into their dark space. It's how you stay in the light, in freedom. Alongside forgiveness, you need faith. Faith in karma, the law of cause and effect. You don't need to be the enforcer of justice, because life has a fair way of balancing things. No action exists in a vacuum. Every word, every deed plants a seed. Those who sow negativity will reap it. You don't need to witness their punishment. That's not your job. Your job is to keep living with kindness, integrity, and commitment to your values. That's how you break free from the cycle of hatred. Many think that not retaliating makes them seem weak. That's an illusion. The strongest person controls their reactions. You forgive not to show others your nobility, but to free yourself. Holding on to anger doesn't hurt them. It hurts you. Anger is like acid. The first to drink it is you, not the one you resent. Forgiveness isn't a single moment, but a journey. You might think you've forgiven, only for hurt to resurface later. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're peeling back layers of emotion, processing pain more deeply. True forgiveness is when you can think of the person who hurt you without anger or wishing them harm. That's when you've transcended yourself. Forgiveness doesn't preclude boundaries. You can forgive and still keep someone out of your life. Forgiveness is internal, not reconciliation. You can say, I forgive what you did, but I won't allow it to happen again. This isn't just self-protection, it's self-respect. Forgiveness isn't leniency. It's a form of advanced emotional intelligence. In spiritual traditions from Buddhism and Zen to Christianity and Hinduism, karma is central. No one escapes the consequences of their actions. It may not be today or in your sight, but what you sow returns somehow. Sometimes the greatest punishment is when someone remains trapped in their toxic mind, living with negativity, insecurity, and endless hatred. Your greatest liberation is when you're no longer affected by it. Forgiveness is crucial to becoming untouchable, not because you must be virtuous, but because it's the only way to escape the past grip. Some live their whole lives in anger, never finding peace. Those who forgive walk lighter. They're no longer haunted by conflicts or drained by what they can't control. They focus entirely on growth and what matters. When you forgive and trust karma, you hand the burden of justice back to the universe. You tell yourself, I don't need to judge others. I just need to be responsible for my life. The miracle is when you let go of the need for revenge, you tap into a deep inner strength, the strength of freedom, awareness, and a heart that's learned its lesson and is ready to move on. You don't need an apology to forgive. You don't need them to see their mistake. Forgiveness is for you. When you choose to stop carrying hatred, you open the door to new energy. The peace you've sought isn't in defeating others, but in rising above yourself. Only by releasing burdens can you soar. If you're holding on to pain, betrayal, or injustice, try this. Write down what you feel, not to send, but to free yourself. Write it all. How you were hurt, how you wanted to react, why you chose not to. End with, I forgive, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve to live lightly. That's the first step to transformation. Forgiveness doesn't make you a saint. It makes you the strongest, deepest version of yourself. Combined with trust in karma, it's a shield guarding your mind from the world's toxicity. Those who don't forgive are bound by the past. Those who do can step into the future. If this message touches your heart, share your forgiveness experience in the comments. What's the hardest thing you've forgiven? If this video resonates, hit like, share it with someone needing a reminder of the power of letting go, and subscribe for more. The journey to mastering your mind, emotions, and living an untouchable life starts within. Forgiveness is the first step to unlocking that freedom. You could spend your life plotting ways to strike back at those who hurt you. You might harbor resentment, imagining countless scenarios of revenge. But what you'll gain isn't relief, it's exhaustion. The energy spent nurturing hatred is stolen from your future. You're burning your potential to fuel a fire that leads nowhere. That's why the best revenge isn't retaliation, it's transcendence. Becoming untouchable doesn't mean you lack emotions, but that you're not controlled by them. No one can hurt you if you master your reactions. No one can drag you down if you refuse to fight on their turf. No one can break you if you choose to walk with higher character. You don't need to defeat anyone. The only battle is within, conquering your wounded ego, your urge to retaliate, and your obsession with being vindicated. Remember, the truly strong aren't those who crush every enemy, but those who don't need enemies to define their worth. The truly free aren't those who receive apologies, but those who don't need them to live well. The truly happy aren't those who inflict pain, but those whose minds are no longer strangled by the past. If you're watching this and feel something stirring within, don't stop at inspiration, act. Start small. Write down the name of someone you once wanted to hurt, then choose to let go. Not because they deserve it, but because you've grown enough to no longer need it. Freedom doesn't come from defeating others, but from refusing to let them control you. If this message resonates, help spread it. Like the video to boost its reach on YouTube's algorithm. Comment below, sharing how you overcame hurt without revenge. Subscribe to the channel if you want to join me in building an unyielding mind, a peaceful heart, and an unconquerable life. Because in the end, the most beautiful revenge is realizing you no longer need revenge at all.